What's up YouTube? Retro Compulsive Gamer here, and for this episode we are going to be discussing the hardest Mario 64 stars in each level. So before we get this thing going, let me just establish some ground rules here. So I will not be counting 100 coin stars, but everything else is fair game. Okay, great. Now that we got that down, let's hop right into this. So coming in at number 1, we got Bob-omb Battlefield. So this one was a little tricky for me, to be honest. It came down to the Chain Chomp and Mario Wings to the Sky. Ultimately, I did decide with Mario Wings to the Sky because the Chain Chomp one, well, it's definitely a little tricky and annoying, but once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad and you could always replenish your health. But I feel Mario Wings to the Sky is very cryptic, and I'm just trying to think of 8 to 9-year-old me trying to figure this out. So gameplay wise of it definitely is a little tricky, especially if you're doing it without the wing cap, because you do have to line it up perfectly. Other than that, I just believe the cryptic message of it, just trying to figure out where it is the hardest part of this level. Okay, now for the fun stuff. For the second level, we got Whomp's Fortress. So for me, it boils down between blast away the wall and fall onto the caged island. So ultimately, I decided on fall onto the caged island, and once again, it boils down to cryptic. Blast away the wall is a little bit more reasonable. I mean, you could kind of figure it out, and it's very easy. You just hit it with the cannon, so that's not too difficult, but I'm not thinking for fall onto the caged island to look for an owl, which I don't even know is in that tree, and even just trying to fall into it is pretty difficult too, just knowing that. It is possible to parkour it, but very few people can actually pull it off, and yeah, I just find it to be a very difficult star to get, even knowing where the owl is. Here we go! So coming in at the number 3 spot, we got Jolly Roger Bay. So my pick for this one is, can the eel come out to play? So it's pretty straightforward, right in your face. Like, you could figure it out fairly easily, but the gameplay aspect of it is the hardest, because I personally to this day still don't know how to lure the eel out, and when you do, you gotta watch your health bar and just be very cautious trying to get the star off his tail. By the way, as he's zigging and zagging, if you bump into this mofo, he does a fair amount of damage. So coming in our 4th world, we got Cool Mountain, and my pick for this one is Big Penguin Race. Originally, I was gonna go with the wall kick section, but personally, I think the Penguin Race is more difficult, and you could easily blow lives just attempting it. By the way, did I mention he hits shortcuts? Yep, that's right. If you try to take the shortcut, he'll just break the 4th wall, even if he doesn't see you, and immediately disqualify you. Okie doke, so next level we got Big Boo's Haunt, and the section I choose is Eye to Eye in the Secret Room. How fitting. So the reason I'm choosing this one is because the accessibility of it. Not many people know where it is, and you could make the argument, same thing with Big Boo's Balcony, because it's in the same spot, but the reason I'm choosing this is because you need the invisibility cap, and you kind of have to rush and parkour your way through it, so that's why I chose this one for our spot. Alrighty, on to the next level. We got the Hazy Maze Cave. So for this one, I ended up going with the amazing emergency exit. It was a close one between the rolling rocks, but the reason I didn't pick that one is because in the title it says watch for the rolling rocks. I mean, that star is pretty tricky to find, but I feel like this one's a little more difficult just because you do have to traverse your way through the maze, and it's not exactly clear of where you have to go. So you definitely have to find it, and the rope part could be a little tricky when you have to climb the bars because it requires very precise movements, and if you hit the edge, you immediately fall off. So that's why I picked that one. Here we go! Alrighty folks, we are at the halfway point of this video, and for course number 7, we got Lethal Lava Land. So you already know, well actually in case you didn't know, this part's gonna include inside the volcano because I find that pretty difficult, and I'm going with elevator tour. So the reason I chose this over the other volcano section is because there's one jump in particular that is very difficult to make, sort of, and to make matters worse, there's fire going after you, so that's why I chose this one. The other one isn't too bad making it up the volcano, but I chose this just because of that factor. And for course number 8, we got Shifting Sandland, and the level I chose in this is Pyramid Puzzle. I just love these levels in a level. So this one shouldn't be too much of a surprise to everybody because of the really difficult parkouring, and not to mention you have to make your way all the way to the top of the pyramid and find out what the hell the puzzle is. So you slowly have to fall down and you have to land on these mini platforms. By the way, did I mention if you fall all the way down you have to reset and go back up? And it's pretty cryptic too, so that's why I chose this one. Here we go! Okay, so for course number 9, we got Boring Docks, and I'm picking Stripper Pole Dancing for red coins. Definitely not what it's called. Anyways, nothing in this level stands out as too difficult, to be honest. Just bland and boring. But joking aside, yeah, this one's got a little bit difficult parkouring, and that's why I chose this one. Here we go! Okay, so for number 10, we got Snowman's Land, and I guess the hardest star is to find the level, maybe? So for this one, I'm going with Snowman's Big Head. The other ones are pretty straightforward, not too bad. Yeah, so this one is really difficult just because the hitbox is ridiculous with the wind, and it just gets very frustrating when you keep falling off and having to go back up. So that's why I picked this one, because it's just very difficult and frustrating to get through. So for numero 11, we got Wet Dry World. So the pick I am making is Top of the Town, just because of the really difficult parkouring. Some of the other parts here are pretty difficult too, I want to say, like some of the other stars, but this one stands out the most for me, especially as a kid, because parkouring was something I always struggled at, but eventually I got good at it. So for number 12, we got Tall Mountain, and let me tell you, this one is a handful to just pick from. But to me, the one that stands out the most is Blast to the Lonely Mushroom. So let's just assume we're all horrible parkourers or just no shortcuts involved. So for this one, you have to find the Bob-omb who's just hidden randomly throughout the level. Then you have to make your way to the cannon, then magically hit the mark, because if you miss, you're gonna have to traverse back and do all that over again. So this one is pretty damn difficult all around. And for number 13, we got Tiny Huge Island. So for this one, we have 5 itty bitty secrets we have to discuss. Okay, that was cringe as f. Anyways, the reason I chose this one because you have to keep going back and forth between Tiny and Huge Island, and you have to decipher what the secrets are in the first place. And did I mention, as you're going back and forth, if you die at all, it nullifies your progress. So that's why I chose this one. The other ones are still pretty difficult, but this one stands out the most to me. For course number 14, we got Tick-Tock Clock, and oh boy, these are a handful. So it's no secret that these are all pretty damn difficult, but Stomp on the Thwomp takes the cake, because we know just traversing all the way up is a bitch in itself, and on top of that, you have to do some really nice parkour and get on top of the Thwomp, then get the star. I find this one pretty difficult, and I would imagine you would all agree. And for our last level, we got Rainbow Ride, and honestly, can I just pick the whole damn level? Because overall, this is pretty difficult. But for my final pick, we got Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and why Nintendo? Why does this exist? Why is this a level? Do I even have to explain my pick to all of you? Like, I think we all know, just from experience, that this is a son of a bitch, this one. And just, you have to find, once again, just like Tall Mountain, you have to find the Bob-omb, you have to get to the spot, then you just have to magically shoot yourself into a good spot. And by the way, that purple guy, I don't know what his name is, but he likes to throw you around. Yeah, he's waiting for you there too, so that's just to make matters worse. Here we go! Okie doke, everybody, that concludes this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and Let me know what you want to see going forward. I was thinking about doing a few videos where I spend time on a specific series like Mario 64, maybe do a review, an analysis, levels rank, stuff like that. But let me know in the comments below what you think of my videos and maybe some improvements too. I like harsh criticism. Anyways, everybody, thank you so much for watching and make sure to catch me in the next video. I will see you then.